Welcome back to Future Forward, our podcast where we explore the big ideas shaping tomorrow. Today, we're diving into something truly fascinating, the incredible speed of AI development and how it contrasts with, or complements, our very human limitations. In an age of endless information, we'll talk about finding a sense of peace within it all.
Oh, I've been thinking about this. AI seems to be getting smarter and faster every day, creating amazing stuff, but I still need to sleep 8 hours and I can only focus on one thing at a time for so long. It feels like we're on totally different speeds.
Exactly. That's the core of what we're talking about today. Let's get started. Think of AI as having superpowers. It can generate millions of words, images, or even lines of code in seconds. It never gets tired, never runs out of ideas in the way a human does. It's an engine of infinite output.
Yeah, like when I use an AI art generator, it can spit out 100 images in minutes. If I tried to draw 100 sketches, it would take me days.
Precisely. But here's the paradox. While AI can produce infinite amounts, we as humans have a finite capacity to consume, process, and even appreciate it. From a psychological point of view, our brains evolved for a world of scarcity, not superabundance. We have what psychologists call a limited attention budget. We can only truly focus on so much at once. When we're presented with too many choices, whether it's what show to watch on a streaming service with thousands of options, or what news article to read in a never-ending feed, our brains can get overwhelmed. It leads to what's known as decision fatigue. You feel mentally drained just trying to pick something, right?
Totally. Sometimes I spend more time scrolling through movies than actually watching one, and then I just give up.
It's a common experience. And if we look at it from a philosophical perspective, this superabundance forces us to ask, what truly holds value? If AI can create limitless art or music, does the unique human act of creation become less valuable? Not necessarily. Think about it. When photography emerged, some feared it would kill painting. Instead, painting evolved. It moved beyond simply depicting reality to exploring abstraction, emotion, and new forms of expression that photography couldn't capture. Photography found its own value in capturing moments with precision. Similarly, with AI, the value of human creation might shift. It's less about sheer quantity or perfection by a machine standard, and more about the unique human experience embedded, the personal struggle, the raw emotion, the unique perspective that only a human with their limited but deeply felt life can bring, the intent and vulnerability, the courage it takes for a human to put their unique voice out there, knowing it's imperfect, the story behind the creation, the journey, the inspiration, the why that connects us to the artist. It won't be a universal, one-size-fits-all answer, just as our cultural ideas about art or beauty change over time. Different cultures, different groups, and even different individuals will emphasize different aspects. Some might marvel at AI's efficiency, while others will increasingly seek the unique, irreplaceable touch of human imperfection and connection. It challenges us to reflect deeply on what truly moves us. That's a lot to ponder. Now let's move on.
So it's like AI is this super fast train, and we're still running on foot no matter how much we train. My body still gets tired, my brain still gets overloaded.
A great analogy. When we talk about our human limitations, it's never about saying humans are useless or behind. Quite the opposite. It's about understanding our unique design and how we best operate. Think of it less as a bottleneck and more like finding our human sweet spot in a rapidly accelerating world. Our physical and cognitive capacities, for the most part, haven't fundamentally changed since the Stone Age. We still need sleep, food, water. Our short-term memory has limits. We can only process so many bits of information per second. Our brains and bodies are incredibly sophisticated, but they're optimized for certain conditions. We thrive with focused attention, meaningful interactions, and a manageable amount of information. When AI pushes the world into hyperspeed, it's not that we're broken, it's that we're operating outside our optimal zone. From a historical point of view, humanity has always adapted to new technologies. When the printing press was invented, there was an explosion of information, but it was still text on paper, consumed at a human reading pace. When we built cars, we moved faster, but our bodies were still confined to the vehicle. AI is different because it directly interacts with and even generates our information environment, and our brains are still trying to cope with this new speed. Historically, human life had far fewer choices. Your daily tasks, your profession, your social circle were often largely predetermined. Now, AI presents us with almost limitless options, and our ancient brains are trying to navigate this new landscape. Psychologically, this constant bombardment of information and options, particularly from social media or news apps, can quickly exhaust our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and focus. It's why sometimes, after too much screen time, you just feel mentally fried. Your brain literally goes out of capacity for effective decision-making.
Yeah, I feel that after an hour on social media. My head just feels full, like a hard drive running out of space.
Exactly. And unlike a hard drive, our storage and processing speed are pretty fixed. This leads us to consider how we make decisions when our capacity is so limited. It's why people like Steve Jobs famously wore the same clothes every day, to reduce one more small decision and preserve mental energy for the big ones. It's clear our brains are adjusting to a new pace. Now, let's explore another fascinating aspect.
Like when you're trying to solve a problem and the answer just pops into your head when you're doing something totally unrelated. AI can't really do that, can it?
Not in the same way, no. Many of history's greatest breakthroughs were serendipitous. Let's talk about those amazing aha moments. You're struggling with a problem, staring at it for hours, feeling stuck. Then you go for a walk, or you're making a cup of tea, and suddenly, bam, the solution, a new idea, a connection you never saw before, just clicks into place. It feels like 1 + 1 = 3, because it's more than just adding up the pieces. It's a new synthesis. Why does this happen? From a psychological perspective, our brains need downtime, moments of relaxed focus or even distraction to process information in the background. It's like our subconscious mind is working overtime, connecting dots that our conscious, problem-solving mind might overlook because it's too focused on the obvious. AI is incredible at crunching data and finding patterns within defined parameters. But that leap of intuition, that unexpected connection, often comes from stepping away from the problem, from allowing our minds the space for serendipity. It's the magic of the unexpected insight, the creative spark that often ignites outside of deliberate effort. Those unexpected insights are a true human gift. Now, let's discuss something fundamental.
So if AI can do so much of the doing, especially the repetitive or information-heavy stuff, what's left for us? Are we going to become less useful?
That's the big question, and it's one humanity has faced many times before. From a historical point of view, every major technological revolution, the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the digital revolution, has shifted what work means and what is considered valuable. Farm laborers became factory workers, then information workers. Now, AI is automating information work. This doesn't mean humans become useless. It means our unique value shifts. Psychologists suggest that our sense of purpose will increasingly come from uniquely human skills that AI struggles with. Things like empathy, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, nuanced communication, and complex problem-solving that requires human judgment and creativity. Our productivity might be less about the sheer volume of output and more about the quality of our relationships, the depth of our insights, and our ability to navigate complex human situations. And this is where the idea of focusing on being rather than just doing becomes so powerful and important. Student, what comes to mind when you hear being versus doing in this context?
I guess doing sounds like completing tasks, checking things off a list.
being sounds more about like how you feel or who you are as a person, not just what you accomplish. Is that right?
You've hit it perfectly. Think of it this way. In the past, much of our worth and identity were tied to what we did for a living or the physical output we produced. If a machine can do that doing faster and better, it truly frees us up to focus on things that machines can't do in the same way. So when we talk about being, we're talking about cultivating aspects of life like deep relationships, truly connecting with loved ones, building community, expressing empathy. AI can't genuinely experience or foster human connection. Personal growth, learning for the sake of understanding, developing wisdom, exploring your inner world. It's about who you are becoming, not just what you produce. Experiencing life richly, appreciating beauty, nature, art, moments of joy, presence, and simply being alive. AI can analyze a sunset, but it can't feel the wonder of it. Meaning and purpose, reflecting on the why behind our existence, contributing to something bigger than ourselves in uniquely human ways.
So it's about shifting focus from external achievements to internal richness?
Exactly. It's about shifting our focus from the external metrics of achievement, how much money we make, how many tasks we complete, to the internal richness of our lives and our connections. It means valuing our human spirit, our emotions, and our relationships above sheer output. This isn't just for philosophers, it's about finding a more fulfilling life for everyone, especially as AI takes over more of the doing in the future. That was a deep dive into our human purpose. Now, let's wrap up with some practical strategies for thriving. Student, after all we've discussed, what do you think would be one key takeaway for listeners to find more peace in this digital age?
Well, for me, it's about not letting the amount of information overwhelm you. Like you said, choosing what you consume.
That's an excellent start. That leads us right to conscious consumption. Think of your brain as having a limited attention budget each day. Just like you budget your money, you need to budget your attention. Be mindful of the endless streams of information and content AI can generate. Curate your information diet. Choose what you consume, when you consume it, and how much. Don't let the fire hose overwhelm you. This might mean setting limits on screen time, choosing specific times to check news or social media, or even unfollowing accounts that drain your mental energy.
And what about those aha moments? How do we make sure we get more of those?
That's where protect your downtime comes in. We talked about those moments that come when you're not actively trying to solve a problem. Our brains need space to process, connect ideas, and simply be. Make sure you protect time for unstructured thinking, for boredom, for activities that don't involve a screen or a specific goal. Go for a walk, stare out the window, doodle, or simply sit in silence. These moments are crucial for creativity and mental well-being.
So focus on what AI can't do, like being human?
Precisely. That's cultivate uniquely human skills. If AI is taking over more of the doing, the repetitive tasks, the data processing, then our human value shifts. Focus on developing skills that AI struggles with. This includes empathy, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, nuanced communication, and complex problem solving that requires human judgment and creativity. These are the areas where our inherent human abilities, including our emotional and physical experiences, become our greatest strengths.
And for living a good life, is it less about what we achieve and more about how we experience it?
Absolutely. That's our final point. Redefine personal success. As AI changes the nature of work and output, we have an opportunity to rethink what success truly means. It might shift from purely quantitative metrics, like how much we produce or earn, to qualitative aspects of life. Think about the quality of your relationships, your personal growth, your wisdom, and how richly you experience life. Valuing time with loved ones, learning for the sake of understanding, and finding joy in simple human experiences can become central to a fulfilling life in an AI-driven world.
That makes so much sense. It's not about trying to compete with AI, but about focusing on what makes us uniquely human and finding meaning there.
Precisely. The future isn't about humans versus AI. It's about how we intelligently integrate this powerful technology into a life that prioritizes our well-being, our unique human spirit, and our connections with each other. It's a fascinating and essential journey we're all on.
I feel a lot clearer about it now. Thanks, teacher.
My pleasure. Join us next time on Future Forward as we